Hi, I have another book for you. It reminds me very much of the conservatives that are seeking to destroy our government today. But the tables are kind of switched around in here. But I think you should read it and tell me what you think. The name of it is The First American Revolution Before Lexington and Concord, written by Raphael. And just a bit of the introduction. The American Revolution did not start with the shock heard round the world on the morning of April 19th, 1975, when British regulars fired upon a small group of hastily assembled patriots on the Lexington Green. They were attempting to regain control of a colony they had already lost. The real revolution, the transfer of political authority to the American patriots, occurred the previous summer when thousands upon thousands of farmers and artisans seized power from every Crown appointed official in Massachusetts outside of Boston. And it started in August 1774. And some of the things that give me clues about what's going on and what happened are some such as this. Eventually, after more excessive prose, delegates to the Suffolk County Convention addressed the business of the day. They opposed both the Massachusetts Government Act and the Boston Port Bill, stating that no obedience is due from this province to either or any part of the acts above mentioned, that they should be rejected as the attempts of a wicked administration to enslave America. Although they did not have the power to close the courts, they recommended that no regard ought to be paid to them by the people of this country, and that officers of the court or jurors who refused to serve would, re- would receive their support. They recommended that taxes not be paid to the officers of the established government until the civil government of the province is placed upon a constitutional basis. They demanded resignations from all mandamus councilors. Those who failed to comply by September 20th would be considered by this county as obstinate and incorrigible enemies to this colony. They opposed the fortification of the Boston Neck and appointed a committee to carry their protest to Governor Gage. They objected to the Quebec Act, claiming that the legalization of the Catholic Church in Canada was dangerous in an extreme degree to the Protestant religion and to the civil liberties of all America. They recommended to take away all commissions from the officers of the militia and that new officers be elected by the people. They advocated yet another non-consumption agreement against British merchandise and manufacturers. Like the other conventions, they endorsed a convening of a provincial congress in October. They promised to pay all due respect to the Continental Congress sitting in Philadelphia and to submit to their decisions. Finally, as was characteristic of all the county conventions, they opposed all routs, riots, or litigious attacks upon the property of any persons whatsoever. They held that, in a contest so important, in a cause so solemn, our conduct shall be such as to merit the approbation of the wise and the admiration of the brave and free of every age and of every country. The Suffolk resolves, hardly the first of the protest, presented the Massachusetts Revolution of 1774 to a wider audience. Okay, in the next, There's another detail in this book. Rural discontent with Boston leadership was not new. In 1769 and 1770, patriots from Worcester complained bitterly about rumors that Boston merchants were undermining the very non-importation agreement which they themselves had promoted. When the tax on tea triggered a new round of non-importation, the Worcester town meeting changed once again that the mercantile part of this province was violating the agreement and that urban merchants, by raising prices, were placing self-interest above patriotism and practicing an extortion that is sufficient to put them in the blush. Now, when the Continental Congress endorsed a sweeping non-importation boycott on October 20, country radicals succeeded in getting the Provincial Congress to pass a strongly worded prohibition against the sale of all goods imported from British territories. A previous agreement pertained only to goods imported after December 1. The old agreements lacked enforcement procedures, but this one would not. Committees of inspection were to possess the authority to take a full inventory of all goods, wares, and merchandise, to seize any contraband, and to publish the names of such refractory merchants, traders, or purchasers, that they may meet with the merits of enemies to their country. In the debate within the Provincial Congress, according to James Lovell of Boston, rural delegates expressed angers and resentment over mercantile chicanery. The country knows what it can do in inland places, Lovell wrote, and seems determined to let England know that in the present struggle, commerce has lost all the temptations of a bait to catch the American farmer. John Andrews described a remarkable incident in which unnamed country radicals dictated policy to the Boston Committee of Correspondence concerning affairs within Boston itself. In September, when Governor Gage tried to build barracks for the soldiers, the country people insisted that nobody supply the British with materials or labor. And this is reminding me quite much of the conservatives. Are they working for England now, or are they creating their own country? I have more to read to you in a little while, but I just want to find the best parts for you. We'll return.